to my channel. There's no place like your home, and there's no place like your basement. If you've got a piano in it, that's a plus. So I haven't touched the piano in years, and it's down here, and you can see that it's covered in plastic. So maybe someday I'll get back to that as well. But I've got you down here, and I want to show you the beautiful work that was done on this basement, as I promised. So the contractor was in and out in a couple of days, and he did beautiful work. And if you saw my last video, as I said, I had a little bit of sticker shock, but you know, I'm over it, and I'm ready to move on. So, you know, one thing also I want to share with you, when I make my videos, overall I'm able to get them on a take or two, but you know, in all honesty, behind the scenes, like any production, it can be a disaster. So right now my kitchen needs to be cleaned up. All the dishes need to be done and put away, and I never did get to the upstairs windows to finish painting those shutters. I did get the first floor ones done, as you saw. But anyway, in that I wanted to share before I forget. So I was running a cord through the first floor window to get my outside lighting connected, and I use an extension cord for one of the outlets in the living room. And I lifted up the window, and there is the shutter. There are the shutters, and the slats are right there. So as I said, I've lived here almost 10 years, and it's taken me that long to realize that I still could have rolled the frames, definitely rolled the frames with the extender, but you know, I can kind of hang out the window on the first floor too, and then get those slats painted. So that's going to get done as well. But you know, just really want to be pretty transparent about, you know, any of us that are on YouTube making videos, showing you finished products. You know, there's really a lot involved, and especially for me, because I'm still working full time. So if I don't catch myself with my best energy first thing in the morning, you know, this evening, like tonight, you know, I kind of lose a little bit of steam, and have to really push through to get some things done. But I did want to get this video at least out and let you see. So if you remember from the last one, this back wall was, you know, had the peeling paint on it, and you know, it wasn't too bad, as the contractor said. He said it really wasn't so bad, but I think he did an absolutely beautiful job on this wall. It's got a nice sealant, and then just bring you around this way where the meters are. And again, you know, I'll be having to work on, you know, some kind of cosmetic covering for those. But he did this, you know, did this outside wall, and you know, swinging around here. And again, I've done nothing. I've gotten to nothing down here, you know, the best intentions. So, and bunch of clothes from one of my sons is temporarily crashed here for a bit. So we just have some things up. But you can see this wall as well. And then as I swing around, that takes you into a very beautiful room that is now being used by one of my sons. So I'm going to pass on sharing that with you. But let's come around this way to the last angle there. You know, there's the room, and, you know, there's the main wall that really seemed to, you know, well, it needed the most work, I'd say. But and another thing as well, I almost forgot, he cleaned up down there, you know, the where the wall meets the floor, and sealed that all up all the way around. So really the first step here is going to be moving things around. so I can give this a good sweep. And I'm going to either just get a mask or even, you know, a wet bandana and put it over my face before I start kicking up any of this dust from this. And it's going to be kind of a, you know, a piecemeal operation, especially with a piano here. So one thing I'm debating on is, even though that's the outside wall, maybe I can get some kind of insulation or something, or just some heavy blankets behind the piano. I don't want it to get damaged any more than it has gotten after all these years. So I'm thinking of putting that there, because this is going to be like a family room, well, just an extra living space with a piano, some chairs, some seating, and some lighting. And again, you know, for me, I'm always looking to do things as inexpensively as possible. And if I really could do this the really, quote, right way, you know, it would be very thousands of dollars. So I'm going to have to work around, again, my budget. And that is the name of the game for this channel. You know, how can I do things and encourage you, or give you ideas, or you give me ideas on how to do something that's not going to break the bank. And, you know, a big thing that I have really come to embrace is I live within or below my means. And that just really works for me. It gives me peace of mind. I don't worry about my finances because I don't have anything to worry about in overspending or buying something, you know, because it might make me feel good, or I want to keep up with somebody or impress somebody. I don't have that, and I'm really grateful. I did have to get a new car. I have a new car payment, and you know, my insurance has gone up a little bit. I think I got the best deal, but it's, you know, I've even thought, could I have done without that? So that's going to be another video, and possibly, you know, another thing to talk about or discuss in finances. So I just want to encourage you, you know, you don't really have to spend a lot of money. And, you know, the most important thing is, you know, if you have debt that is, you know, more consumer debt with credit cards, that kind of thing, you know, you've got your fixed things, you've got your rent or your mortgage, your utilities, you know, we do need cars, you know, you've got to have those. There are some fixed expenses that you really can't change too much. Maybe your utilities, you know, putting sweaters on instead of running the furnace so high, or, you know, using window fans. We had some things here this summer here with some of the other family members. I'm like, put a fan in the window, you know, because that electric bill just really got a little too high for me with the hot weather that we had. So again, you know, I just, you know, I think with the way things are going overall, I think our culture has really just pushed us all toward, you gotta have, you gotta have, you gotta have. And I say, you know, okay, do I really need this? For me right now, I need this extra room. I need this space habitable, so, you know, there's just more room to live with all of us here. It's a very small house, 900 square feet, and we have one toilet. So, you know, I'd love to get another toilet in here as well if I could, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So anyway, I've thought about, you know, what I was going to do here. And, you know, I could buy the drywall, and I think between the 3 and 4 of us, you know, we could put a drywall ceiling on there. I'll have to see. There's some wiring here that is dead. so I'm not going to worry about that. But I think what I'm going to do as far as expenses go, I'm not going to replace the ceiling fixtures and get into all that electricity. So the line that lit this room and some of the lights that are in the ceiling, they're more modern. I can't think of the, recessed lighting in there. And there's one outlet upstairs in the living room. They were all on the same line, and that blew pretty quickly after I had moved in. So had somebody come in and like clip these off down here. And I'm really now considering, as far as expense goes, it's not necessary. I'll just have some table lamps down here. I think that will be enough, and it might just give it a nicer look anyway. And as far as the ceiling goes, as I said, I could possibly do some drywall. We'll see how that works. And I know they have those, there's some really beautiful press-in-place tiles, ceiling tiles that you can put on, not the old-fashioned, drop ceiling, but some really nice ornate tiling that you can put up. So somehow I'll get the ceiling covered. As I said, the walls are done, and really it won't be much to roll the basement floor, roll the paint out, and get that done again. So, and then just, clean out some of this clutter that is just here for right now. So I hope, I hope that helps. And I think most importantly, I think, the message tonight is, there's just so many of us, especially seniors, that I want to encourage to not spend money, to save your money. And if you really need something, or you want to do something, the thrift stores, yard sales, flea markets, you can find a lot of things there. And, with a little bit of elbow grease yourself, you can clean things up, you can repair things, you can repurpose many things. So, that's the sermon for tonight. And I follow a lot of people on YouTube. There's a lot of us out here. So, if you like what I'm doing, expand it. There are women doing this. There are men doing this, talking about this stage of the game, and how they've pulled things back together for themselves to, to have a comfortable life. And really, when you look at the scheme of things, overall, many of us are very rich when you look at the big picture. So I'm very grateful. I have no complaints about anything, and I just always pray that, that I can maintain good health, because without that, you really can't do too much. So I have to share this because I think this is my new theme, and I think I wouldn't even mind getting a t-shirt, but it says, the saying is, with a little bit of, basically, with a little bit of delusion and audacity, you can accomplish about anything in this life. And I really like that. I'm maybe I am delusional, and I am audacious, but I'm going to get this done, and I'm going to get all the things done that I say I want to do, so I can enjoy, the fruits of my labor, and just, be a good example. You can pull yourself up, and you can overcome a lot of things, just with a little bit of mental elbow grease and a whole lot of grit and determination. So, all right, well, I'm going to go get up in that kitchen. I've got some other things I need to kind of wrap up for today, but as always, it's good to see you. If you like my channel, please like and subscribe, share it. I'm not getting paid at this point. I think I would like to learn how to do that. You know, that would be a nice little bit of income. I don't know how you get 885 million viewers or subscribers. I have 75. So, you know, if you have one, you have something. So, alrighty. Well, I will see you soon. There's no place like your home. All right, and I don't, okay, hang on. I'm going to get my Bluetooth here. And I am going to call it a night. I'll see you. Okay, why doesn't this ever turn off? All right, have a good weekend.